everyone, welcome. This is Comfy Cozy Crochet with Triss. I am Triss and this is podcast number 8. We are just sitting around talking about some whips and faux. So this week I have a few finished objects and a couple works in progress as well to share with you, as well as one acquisition. So let's get into it, shall we? Today I have to show you the culmination of my hats and cowls project for my sister and her family. Those of you who have seen my previous podcast will have seen the 4 different hats that I made for them and 2 out of the 4 cowls. Basically, we're having a very late Christmas exchange, and so I'm finishing those up for them, and I basically decided to make each of them a hat with a matching cowl and then give them some odds and ends as well that aren't crochet related. So I made a divine hat out of Big Twist Twinkle in black on silver, and this is the divine cowl, all finished up and ready to go. See if we can get it to focus at all. Nope, just looks like a disco ball. Always does it look like a disco ball, but I will put it on for you. Now this one, excuse my crazy hair, this one actually is for my niece, so it's the smallest of all. She's little. She's 11, but it still does fit me. It's just a much closer, maybe proper cowl, to be honest with you. So up under a jacket, it's gonna look really nice. And it's gonna keep her warm, I hope. And it's got lots of glitz and glam. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's one. Whew, I thought that was gonna be easier to put on. So this one is the Divine Cowl, and I will link that down below. As far as the Ravelry pattern goes, the second one that I have for you today is one that I made, and it is made out of the Hometown USA in the color Aspen Tweed. It's this gorgeous kind of beige color, off-white color with these beautiful caramel and chocolate kind of tweedy flecks in it. I made it with front post, back post crochets, rows of single, and bobbles, and I designed this to sort of match the hat I made for my sister using this, you know, the ginormous one you saw in the last podcast that made me look like a garden gnome. That hat pattern had a couple additional rows of front post, back post, a couple additional rows of bobbles, but since it is such big, thick yarn, I chose to just do 1 row of bobbles right here in the center, a couple of rows of front post, back post, and then just the singles on either side of the bobbles. And it was really kind of a neat thing, you know, just starting to go, hey, I can come up with something. I learned quite a bit and went, oh, that's why I added like 20 rows, or excuse me, 20 stitches in 1 row. And I'm like, how did I do that? And I just started realizing, oh, that's why you do a bobble stitch and you skip one, because when you chain 1 to close the stitch, you're actually adding a stitch. And anyway, it was actually a really cool learning experience. I think there's probably so many of you people that are watching that are more experienced crocheters than me, or just more mathematically brained, that are like, well, yeah. But it's just that I had never thought about it that way. So I just put a single crochet in every stitch and went, why is it doing this? I mean, it looked like one of those like Cleopatra collars, you know, that would come down here, because it was just growing and growing. And I kind of laughed and said, you know, maybe that's how they make like a turtleneck or something. But anyway, I fixed it, figured it out, and I'm pretty happy with it. It's a little bit bigger than the other one, fits nicely, it's really soft, and I actually think that this will do her really solid in the cold winter months. So those are the 2 cowls that I have finished up, and I am so happy to have that group of gifts just completely finished and done with. And my last finished object is my big old waffle blanket. So, da-da-da-da, here it is. Give you a little stand-uppy here. This is made out of Lion Brand Cupcake in the colorway Sea Breeze. So it's got these gorgeous peaches and kind of salmon-y colors, as well as an aqua and then kind of a darker aqua that it goes into, and some white. It's got this gorgeous waffle texture. Get in there. There's some little tweedy flecks in some parts of it. Others are just more solid. But it's a good size blanket here. My wingspan, I'm only 5'3", but it is about 3 inches. No, I'm not even 5'3". I'm 5'2 and a half. Let's be real. But it is longer than my wingspan by about 2 inches on either side. So really nice kind of throw for the couch. I'm really excited. And I actually made this for my husband originally because he requested a throw for the couch that was long enough for his frame to go wrap around his toes and come all the way up to here. And he's just over 6 foot. And I didn't probably quite have enough. I think I ended up with 5 or 6 balls of the Lion Brand Cupcake and Sea Breeze, and they discontinued the color. You can't find it anywhere. It's not available online. And I bought the remainder of what they had when it was being discontinued out of Joann's. So this is all I could get my hands on, and so it probably comes to here on him, like, you know, right at the breastbone. It does not come all the way to his chin or be able to come up over his shoulders, but that's okay. It's still going to be a really nice, really extra cushy, smushy blanket for him. So I'm thrilled to be done with this. I actually started this project when I was very first pregnant with my son, who is now just over 15 months old. So I've been working on this on and off for quite some time. I really enjoy the waffle stitch, but there were just so many other projects that kind of crept in and out, and baby blankets that had happened, and gifts and so on, and it just got kind of sloughed to the side. And so I would work on it here and there and work on it for a week or two, put it away, start other projects, finish them, go, oh yeah, I should get back to that and work on it a little more. I actually ran out of yarn for a different project, and while I was waiting on my pickup from Joann's, I just picked this up and said, okay, well, I have to work on something, and ended up getting it finished. So that's really great. I've got my really fun Seahorse Beach bag now available to put something else in. So really excited about that. Love finishing a project. That sense of accomplishment is always amazing, but when it's a big old blanket that you've been working on for over a year, I feel like that's just extra, you know? So anyway, those are my 3 finished objects. Now on to works in progress. I have 2 whips at the moment. One is this Moonlight Stroll Infinity Scarf. And this is a pattern by the Stitchin Mama. She has a blog. I found it via Pinterest, and it is lovely. I'm using my J-hook with it, and it is using Shawl in a Ball in the color Moonstone. This is classified as a number 4. I'm sure everybody knows the stats, but in case you don't, it's here you go. I'm sorry, I'm holding it below the camera. Classified as a number 4, I would definitely call it a 3, if not a 2. I disagree with the classification there of a worsted weight, but they call for a J-hook or a number 10. The color is Moonstone, like I said. 5.3 ounces, 150 grams, 481 yards, 440 meters. Machine wash, gentle, lay flat to dry. And it is 61% cotton, 34% acrylic, and 5% other fiber. It does say 1 ball or cake will make a shawl, hence the name Shawl in a Ball. There you are. And this is what that looks, and it's just this gorgeous kind of peachy salmons with a whole lot of kind of ombre gradient blues and some white in there, and some really pretty twinkle. I don't know if it is showing up, but this is the beginning of, let me just stand up and show you here. This is the beginning. There you can see the twinkle of the scarf. And we're just It's uneven because I'm in the middle of a row, but we're just starting to get into some of the blue. There's kind of the salmon-y color, and it's actually darker than what it is on camera. It's almost more of a rust. Can you guys see that? There we go. See, it's almost more of a rust than a salmon. This is what it shows the picture going to be, or as far as the color gradient there. But now I know that you can see that real pretty twinkle that's showing up there. So that's what we're working on with the scarf. So I'm really enjoying this pattern. I will say that as beautiful as the yarn is, it's really a bummer to frog. Not my favorite thing. I did have to frog just a little bit of it when I was doing the first chain. I just was off on my chain a little bit. Needed to redo that, and it was really a bummer to frog. That being said, I do think that even though it's not my most favorite yarn to work with, possibly, although I'm just getting started, so the verdict's still out on that. But I do think that it is one that, I mean, especially with me, glitter is always an okay thing for me. I love the glam, I love the lacy pattern, and I have a feeling that this is just going to end up being something that I love, love, love the finished product with. So it might be something that I don't super enjoy working with per se, but I'm really okay with the finished product, and I want to continue using it for that reason. But we'll see. I will give you guys a little update next week. Hopefully I will be finished with this, and be able to give you a little bit of an update as far as if this is something that I am planning on continuing to use. So that is whip, whip number 1. And whip number 2 is going to be an all-year project, and this is going to be my first time ever making a temperature blanket. And if you don't know what a temperature blanket is, basically it is a record of the year's temperatures. That's it. So there are many ways to do it. There really is no wrong way. Basically you pick a stitch and you pick colors that coincide with the temperatures. So you say orchid is 0 to 20, and a different blue is 20 to 25, and a green is 25 to 30, or so on. And I ended up with 14 colors plus white as the divider, and I'm really, really excited to go with it. I'm using mostly Super Saver. There's a big twist thrown in, and a 1 or 2 red hearts with love. But basically, I am starting with granny squares, and I'll just show one for now. The middle is that pretty lemon color, and the outside is the turquoise. And what we're doing here is the center right here is the high of the day, and the outside is the low of the day. So depending, here's another one. Ooh, really out of focus. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. There we go. So we've got the spring green in the middle and the frosty green on the outside for this one. I hope you guys can see that. This is another one. So basically, I am just going to be joining these together. And so to start out, we start out with a plain white square signifying the beginning of the year and or the beginning of the month. And then here is day 1. So for this project, I am using the Fiber Flux 2019 temperature blanket as kind of my basis or jumping off point, if you will, and then I'm doing a little bit of my own thing. So you'll stay tuned with this. So stay tuned with that if you'd like to see what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a different border. I've chosen different colors, and this is going to be a long process, but I've got a calendar where I've written all of the temperatures in accordance with what color they coincide with, and then I've got a calendar that I go through and write down and record all of the highs and lows temperatures. And there, if you guys want to do this, there are various different websites and weather sources and tools out there that you can go and you can look up your zip code, what the highs and lows were for any given time, going back years and years and years, and going back to yesterday. So I am using that. Super, super excited to be doing this. I have several, I believe I have the first 12 days finished as far as the individual squares, and now I'm just, like I said, using the join as you go technique in white to put them together. This is the first time I've ever joined any kind of square at all. Granny square, willow square, anything. So I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. In fact, I've been showing you the back. I apologize. This is the front. But pretty excited with how that turned out. Hopefully you guys are able to see that and it's focusing. I do see that my camera is having a little bit of a hard time focusing all of a sudden. I don't know if it's because I'm showing you white yarn or what have you. But anyway, that is the last work in progress. It's going to be the big one for the year. Stay tuned if you stick around, and I so hope you do. You will see a lot of this project, I'm sure, winding its way through different podcasts. And I'm really excited to do it. I'm really hoping that I stick with it and I don't fall off the wagon and decide that this is just too much work. But in keeping with the theme of this being a large project with a lot involved, i.e. I've got scissors, I've got a pen, I've got multiple pieces of paper for recording things, I have got 15 skeins of yarn, plus the actual project itself and the different squares. I was trying to figure out a way to contain it all and have it contained in a way that it could be portable. And I thought just your average little project bags are not gonna do. And even my big beach bags that I like to tote around are also not gonna do for this. It's just too large. So I was trying to figure out even how can I take like 5 or 6 skeins at a time even, not all 16 or 15, but just a few of them. How can I do this? And I have a baby. He's 15 months old. He gets into everything and he loves my yarn and my hooks. They're some of his favorite things in the world and he likes to hide them. So I do have to keep him out of there. So I love everybody's idea of the whip caddies, but it just is not feasible for me if I want to keep things nice and organized and be able to find it at the end of the day, quite frankly. So I've been, Shauna and I, my husband, have been trying to kind of figure out a way of keeping things here in the living room that is accessible to me easily during my downtime. I pretty much only crochet when my son is napping or when he's down for the night. Same as when I'm recording for you guys. It's always after 8 o'clock when he goes to bed. And so trying to figure out where I can store this that he can't get into but that I can easily access it was a little bit difficult. And so when I went into Joann's to find a couple more colors for this blanket, they just happened to be having this pretty epic sale on rolling totes. And these, there were multiples in the category, but there were only 2 actually available and on display. But it did say like all totes ranging in price from $90 to $120, all on sale for $59.99. I chose one that's just all black. This is a big monster baby, okay? It's all black. It's kind of a quilted look. You can see that. There is a Velcro pocket here, one here in the front, and one to the side, as well as this big zippered opening, or lid, with a see-through pouch that currently has my pen, the granny squares that are finished, and my hooks, And then inside, there's a whole bunch. So it is currently holding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 skeins of yarn, plus an entire like notebook of printed papers. And then on all 4 sides, sorry, this is actually pretty difficult to show you. I didn't really think this through. On all 4 sides here, there are zippered pockets as well, okay? And just like a rolling suitcase, it's got this really lovely handle that will roll, and it rolls nicely. The zippered pouch is really awesome. Zippered lid, because that means hopefully Grant's not going to get in and out of it. I am going to try to not put a bunch in these Velcro pockets, although they are sizable. I'm really excited when he's old enough to stay out of things a little bit more. I will definitely be making use of that. As of now, he's not really isn't really hip to the whole zipper thing yet, so I think he kind of just tries to go like, it won't open, Mom. I'm like, yeah, darn. So anyway, I am thrilled to be able to just have this next to the couch, and when he's down for a nap, I can grab it and use it. Like I said, there are several skeins of yarn in there, plus my tools, and there is a lot of room. I can easily put another 5 skeins of yarn in that thing. I sent a photo to one of my best friends and she goes, dang, you could fit your whole kid in there. I was like, you know what? When he wakes up, I might just try to do that, because that would be a heck of a picture, right? But anyway, this was originally $120, which is outside of my realm of what I'm willing to spend just offhand. But the sale was for $59.99, and then there was also a coupon that was $10 off if you send $50 or more. So I went ahead and used that coupon. I got this baby for $49.99 on sale from $120. I was pretty thrilled with that. It's still kind of a sizable purchase for something I wasn't planning on, but it is going to make my life and my husband's life so much easier, and we don't have to fight about having 5 million skeins of yarn strewn about. So really, really happy with this. And he was like, you know, that was a really good buy. I'm like, thank you. Yes, love when I win. So if you guys are interested in any of those rolling totes, I guess one of my other best friends, she said in that same chat that she actually picked up 2 different ones, and very different. So mine apparently is for hauling a sewing machine. So that's why it's so big, and it's very, very sturdy. There's a lot of weight and form to it, for lack of a better term. Those sides are not floppy. It's very rigid. And she picked up a couple other ones that were more like a tote that would roll, and another one that was very triangular, and again, more for hauling, sewing, quilting, things like that without the actual sewing machine. So I ended up getting kind of the heavy duty hefty one, but hers is a lot cuter, if I'm being honest with you. But I am super happy with this. Like I said, there was only this one and one other one that wasn't really a fabric to my taste, and I liked how sturdy this one is. I just thought it was super, super durable, and when you live with a baby and you're trucking things here, there, and everywhere, and he's crawling all over things, durability is a plus in my mind. So that is the one acquisition I have, and I think that's all I have for you today. I feel like I've been rambling on forever, considering I only had 3 finished objects and 1 acquisition, but I'm just a rambler. What can I say? A regular Jabberjaws here. So anyway, what have you guys been working on? Have you guys finished up something exciting? Are you working on stash downs, or a temperature blanket, or any big year-long thing? I know Brenda from the Newbie Crocheter, Ursula from Steele's The Show Crochet and Chefs, and Ursula from OMGrannySquares. I think I have my own hair in my lip gloss here. They're all working on a big challenge of anything that is difficult for you. So challenge yourself challenge, and I will link their channels down below, and they're amazing, amazing ladies. They are 3 of my favorite ladies here on YouTube, so please go check them out if you have not already. They're fabulous, fabulous, and so knowledgeable, and just some of the sweetest souls you'll ever meet. So please go ahead and check their links down below and join their families if you have not, and let them know I sent you if you happen to have happened to have found me and not them already. But I plan on making the temperature blanket also part of their challenge, because you know what? I've never done a temperature blanket before. I have never done such a long and drawn out project that I'd have to work on every day, and I've also never done a proper granny square blanket before. So this is my big challenge for you guys. And let me know if you're planning on participating, both formally or informally. Let me know what you're working on, and I hope you're having a great day, evening, week, weekend, whenever you're watching this. We're almost to 500 subscribers, you guys. I am so excited, and I just really wanted to say thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart for tuning in, for sticking with me. Please hit that like button, give us some thumbs up if you can, and if you're not subscribed, I would love for you to join this family. It's been an honor getting to know you all, and I can't wait to chat more. So thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful night, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.